Hey everybody, welcome back to One Mic, and today I'm here to talk about Season 5, Episode 6, the Season 5 finale of Apple TV's Slow Horses entitled Scars. So, after 5 strong episodes of build-up, this finale ties up nearly everything. Tara's arc, the destabilization plan, Waylon's epic streak of stupidity, but it doesn't quite hit the explosive highs that this show has delivered in previous finales, but we're going to talk about that. So let's just dive right in. And we start with systems at the park rebooting and a 1 hour countdown ticking down to what we don't know just yet. Even after everything, after all that, sorry, if you're a basketball fan, you know I said that. If you're not, well, you're not going to get it. But after all that, Waylon still doesn't realize he's been played by Tara until Taverner spells it out for him like he's 5. He's honestly the perfect representation of bureaucratic incompetence. You almost feel bad for him because he's so stupid, but then he's so smug that it's just not really. F him. Then he gets a call from the Liberian ambassador saying that he was recently informed that Libyans are responsible for everything that's been going on. And then the camera pulls out and we reveal that Tara is holding this guy at gunpoint, which is how he was recently informed. I liked that. Tara's back in control, and her demand is clear: 100 million pounds and safe passage out of there, or they're going to carry out the final step of the destabilization plan. She doesn't say what that is in the moment, but we find out shortly. She explains that this isn't random. She's going to do to Britain what Britain did to its former colonies, like destabilization from within. It's a smart, pointed piece of political writing, even if the season doesn't dig too deeply into the colonial commentary. While on that point, I think the show could have done a slightly better job conveying the Libyans' motivation, and a much better job of explaining in this episode Peter Judd's involvement and his proposed solution to fix his and Waylon's PR issues. But we'll get there. And there's not much to talk about there, but I don't know. They could have done a better job with that. So the final destabilization step: attack a place of worship. It's Sunday morning. Thousands of churches. They got 1 hour. No idea which church is being targeted. It's an impossible puzzle. And now we've got some genuine slow horses level stakes. So Taverner fills Lamb in, and his solution is it's pure Lamb. He's like, pay the money, and he hangs up. But meanwhile, Waylon proceeds to make a complete fool of himself for an entire scene, failing at conveying power and flailing between fake decisiveness and blind panic. Taverner has to drag him through every step. He's so incompetent, including just getting the prime minister on the phone because paying the money is very much on the table. Flight, in contrast, she stays composed. Her and a team is sent to the Libyan embassy, ready to extract Tara and her crew, who is supposed to be there if everything goes well, or, eliminate them. But back at Slough House, River ignores another call from David and throws himself into the field wanting to handle this situation. Lamb guesses the likely target, which is Abbotsfield again, the site of the original mass shooting from episode 1. There's a memorial happening there that morning, and it's such a grimly poetic target that it has to be the one. So River, Shirley, and Co. head there to intercept. And I liked in this scene how when Lamb says something, he says something to the effect of only an utter psychopath would attack the church that he's thinking that they might attack. And then Cole just leaves the room. And that read to me as if he also figured out which church it is because he is an utter psychopath. I thought that was really funny. Meanwhile, Taverner visits the ever sleazy Peter Judd. Well, she doesn't visit him. He is brought to the park. And she confronts him about his financial connections to the terrorists. Turns out he's been funneling money through an offshore trust they control and been taking a commission. It's the show's last minute reminder that the rot inside British politics is just as dangerous as these Libyan extremists outside of it. Diana transfers the ransom money, believing everything's at an end. She made this deal with Tara. We'll pay the money. We'll help you get out of there, and you go away. No more violence. But Tara's allies, they're no longer allies. They have other plans. Tara told Diana that if they were paid, like I said, they'd leave. But she told her if that wasn't true, if they didn't just leave and everything wasn't cool and there was more violence, that they would take them down. Well, the other terrorists decided they're going to sacrifice Tara, let her be holed up in the embassy and let the dogs go in there and take it because they want to continue wreaking havoc. So not only was Tara drastically misinformed of her role in this, so was I. I was way off about her possibly being in charge, being the mastermind. To the contrary, she ends up being pretty much a patsy here, but still, I was right that she was involved, so whatever. At Abbotsfield, River, Shirley, and Co. arrive at the same time as the now 2 remaining terrorists. We'll get to how that became 2 later. Turns out Jaffrey's there too. He's speaking at this event, and the terrorists decide to take advantage of the opportunity to take him out again, given that Shirley thwarted their earlier attempt. What was that, like 2 episodes back? I didn't like Jaffrey's pushback in this scene. Like, River's like, hey, we got a credible threat that someone's here to kill you. We need to get out of here. Like, MI5 just came and informed you that there's a credible threat on your life, and now you want to hold up the exit because you're upset that you weren't already informed that you might be a target, and now you want to throw a tantrum inside the venue that they are coming for you, and he don't even know they're just outside the window. Like, that all felt really implausible to me. Like, I feel like any politician, if they're told, hey, if the CIA or MI5 comes and like, hey, we got a credible threat to your life, they're going to get out of there, and then they can handle all of that. Why didn't I know there was a threat on me in the car as you drive away from the venue? Him like taking phone calls and like, I don't know about this. Like, that felt very implausible to me. Not a fan of that scene. But I don't know, maybe British politicians are less scared than ours, but ours are going to take off. Anyway, the terrorist attack, a gunfight breaks out. All of Jaffrey's security is killed. Shirley, did I call him Joffrey earlier? I hope I didn't. Shirley shoots and kills one of the 2 remaining terrorists, and then Co kind of like stealth kills the other one from behind via stabbing. It's quick, brutal, but was it just me? Wasn't it also like a little underwhelming as well? Like, that was a very quiet, unceremonious exit for the season's big bads who nearly successfully carried out a mission to topple Great Britain. and that's how they go. Like, it was a little disappointing. But what made me feel a little bit better in the moment was that I paused it and I'm like, oh, we're only about halfway through the episode, so something else is happening. But still a little underwhelming for the big bads to die. So just, back in London, River finally visits David amid what seems like a bunch of nonsensical babble. David mentions a quote, a sting in the tail, which is an attack that's done after the enemy thinks the conflict is already over. You know, lets them know what's what and who's boss. River's distracted again at first, ignoring him as usual, but then realize what it means, that there's still 1 terrorist left, the hesitant one from before. So now we're talking about how it got down to 2 at the Jaffrey scene. Earlier in the season, you remember the one guy, he tried to leave altogether. I say early in the season, maybe like 2 episodes back. He tried to leave altogether and he was forced to stay at gunpoint. In this episode, once that same guy learns that the other 2 plan on still carrying out the attack despite having been paid, he leaves at gunpoint, like pointing his gun at the other 2. And then he says that he's going to handle his own targets and they can handle theirs. I don't know if the word was handle, but he said something like, I'm going to take care of my targets and you take care of yours. So River's realization that another terrorist remains, that guy, leads us into our final act. This, for what it's worth, I called him the nerdy terrorist in my notes, and I had no reason other than the fact that he wore glasses. I'm terrible. He calls River calls Lamb to inform him of what he knows, and though it doesn't happen on camera, Lamb informs him that Wayland is probably the target. We find that out later when Lamb is taking credit for this with Diana on the phone later. At this point, we kind of like cut back and forth between the end of another of Wayland's jogs and River searching frantically for him. We don't know at the time that he's searching for Wayland, but we find out later. So the nerdy terrorist ambushes Wayland, furious over the policy decisions that destroyed his country. This is one of the better moments of the episode, linking those large political decisions to personal suffering. Like, it's happening right now here in the United States with the government shutdown. You have these big political positions and these big political decisions that are happening. You hear about it all in the news, how it's all the things that can happen from it. You feel away from it until you get more granular and you think about the people who are going to lose their benefits and things that they need, kind of like that. So when Wayland says, like, not Waylon says, the terrorist says that he suffered because of a keystroke that Waylon made. And Waylon, in typical fashion, he's like, I was just paid to give opinions. But like from his perspective, he only sees the big picture. Now he is face to face with the individuals that his decisions impact. And I think politicians in general need to experience that more. But I like how how this show did that in this moment. So a dog distracts the attacker, which allows Waylon to escape. And just as he's about to get caught, River shows up and kills the terrorist. Side note on this was the worst shooting terrorist. Like, let's get, he earns the nerdy terrorist name because he's a terrible shot, despite having enhanced vision with these glasses on. Like that, like right before River killed him, he was like a kitchen distance away from Waylon and still couldn't shoot him. Like that guy, man, he's, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Waylon hugs him in relief, him being River, but it's, it's ironic because River just saved the man who's responsible for everything that just happened. So River calls Lamb and he tells him that this could essentially be, actually, no, he doesn't call him. This was in person, actually. He tells him that this could be his ticket back to the park. And then he calls Louisa. So he leaves a message like, yeah, I'm about to be up out of here too. It would be sweet if it weren't obviously premature. I also wonder if Louisa is ever coming back. Like, she's an OG season 1 character. And speaking of unceremonious acts, like, she had a very modest send-off. Like, I feel like an OG character like that should have either got a better send-off or should be coming back. Like, for instance, in the season 6 preview, like, we see that Hugo Weaving's character is coming back. So if he can take a season off, why can't Louisa? She can come back. Anyway, then comes the real finale, Lamb versus Waylon. Waylon plans to scapegoat Slough House for everything that's happened. Lamb absolutely eviscerates him, listing every failure and every time Slough House cleaned up his mess. And then he drops his trump card, which is the recording of Waylon blackmailing Gimbal and his wife, which I've been talking about ever since it happened. Like, when is that going to get used? They've got this tape. What are they going to do with it? Well, this is where it happened. So Lamb lays out his demands. He wants the park to rehire Molly. He wants Roddy back at Slough House. He wants River to be left alone, which later Diana don't even want River anyway. And then he wants Waylon to step down. And just like that, Taverner's first desk. So after this conversation and Waylon leaves, the camera pans out. Well, we see Lamb fiddling with something. I think he's like putting tape on his sock, and the camera pans out. We see Lamb's feet and the bottom of his feet. They're all like scarred and burned up. And this is why we have this episode title, because suddenly that story from however many episodes ago that was, where they escaped from Devon, that old story about that tortured agent, I mean, shit. Like, he said after it was over, he was like, he said to Standish, I just made that up. Well, it looks like he didn't make it up, and it looks like he was the subject of that story. Did he have to watch his pregnant girl get tortured and killed over information that he didn't have? Like, that's dark, man. Like, if Lamb has lived that dark of a life, not only does it explain his current cynicism, but I'd love to explore like that part of his life. Let's get like a flashback episode to young Lamb going through some of the things that made him the person that he is today. I would love to see that. The scars this season leaves aren't just physical. They're reminders that everyone in this world pays for what they've done one way or another. But that's it for Slow Horses right now. I will be back very soon with a video that's kind of wrapping up the entire season. I'm going to record one for both Task and Slow Horses on Friday. Today is Wednesday, October 29th. So I'll record that video on Halloween. Those videos, on Halloween. I'll probably put the Task one out that day, and then maybe the Slow Horses one out on Monday or Tuesday. But let me know what you thought about this season in the comments. Maybe I'll read some of those comments. If you get some good ones in there, maybe I'll read them when I do this video wrapping up the season. But let me know what you thought in the comments. Like the channel, subscribe, share to your social media, join the Discord, join the conversation. And until next time, peace.